Before I start the video, I am just a little bit curious. If you are American, leave it in the comment section below. I think 90% of people that are watching this video are American, okay? I'm just curious. But anyways, hopefully you guys can give this video an early thumbs up. Really help out the channel. And yeah, let's get right in with the show.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans.
Really?
Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very uncomfortable, okay? So make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, people are like, Mark, how's it going, all this stuff? And my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't...
Wait, let me say this, okay? He said don't touch Americans. They have their own personal space. I noticed that when you know each other, you know, it's totally different. When I see ladies, when they meet each other, they will give each other a hug. That is their common thing. You know, in China, when you meet a man, you give them a handshake, right? But when you meet a girl and you try to give them a hug, man, it's weird because in China, like the girls, they do not like you give them a hug, especially when you meet them at the first time. Like one time when I visited China, I gave a girl a hug, okay? It was just an American day, you know, I give her a hug and she just kind of froze there like a dead worm in the sidewalk.
Don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places. Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, and middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that.
Yes, this is definitely true. When I was living in China, I live in a town about maybe 60,000 population, and the bus transportation or the train transportation is top notch. You can literally go anywhere on a bus, and it's very convenient too. But I live in a town right now is about 30,000 population, and they have no bus at all.
And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's, you know, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, oh, I'm going to do, you know, from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I meet a lot of travelers that are like, oh, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the Southeast, you know, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home.
Wow.
Just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No
6 hours just for lunch?
Hours, we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, oh, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through.
You know, Asian people like me, when I drive, I usually take an hour break. You know, every hour I'll stop at a gas station, take a break, you know, take a nap, and then start driving again. You know, Americans, they just drive like 4 hours or 5 hours non-stop. I can't do it, you know, that is crazy to me. I guess I'm a pretty bad driver, I guess.
Okay, now my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the US, we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, oh, it's $1 or €1, oh, I only pay €1. In the US, it is not like that. We have sales tax. So a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're gonna go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not gonna be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's gonna be $1.08. The other one is gonna be $1.09. So be ready for that. And
Yes, like when you go to China, like if the thing costs $1, it's gonna be $1. Okay, everything is included, the tax and everything. But I think in US there's one city or one state that does not have any sales tax. If you know what state it is, leave in the comment section below.
And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the US, you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place. But if it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the US, there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the US. It's
No,
because there's kind of
it's
this
not.
understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And
Now sometimes it's pretty expensive. Like when you go to Red Lobster or Steak Outback, they are pretty expensive, But if you decide to go to like a cheap restaurant like McDonald's and order at the dollar menu, the quality is not good. You pay what you get.
And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the US, so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're gonna wanna tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink. So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the US. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the US, the people actually are pretty nice and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good
Yes.
things, that's included in your meal.
It was Texas Roadhouse. Whenever I go to Texas Roadhouse, I get free peanuts and free bread. Those are amazing, okay? That's the main reason I go to Texas.
If you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't
Somebody bless me in the comment section.
be like shocked and like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal, okay? Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out, all right? You actually have to order some food when you go there.
Yes,
Now my
for
next
sure.
tip for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the US. If you're smoking cigarettes in the US, people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much, but cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that have smoke-free. It's smoke-free. So you have to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things. So that can be something.
But here's another thing that is different. When you go to college, there is gonna be a lot of party, a lot of beer, a lot of drugs. But when you go to a Chinese university, basically there's no drugs or no party or no beer, okay? It's a bit different. But in China, I noticed that there's a lot of people that smoke and it's just pretty normal. But in comparing it to US, like when someone smokes, I usually stay away from them, it's basically frowned upon.
So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't. And that is, don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21, or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, tried to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy, well, if they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one.
Also, when you go to casinos, you have to carry your ID because you gotta be 18 and older in order to enter the building. This is a new recent rule that just implemented because of the virus that is going on right now. So whenever you go to casino, don't forget your ID. My uncle drove 3 hours and he forgot his ID and he just stood outside the building, can't even get inside. You got to bring your ID.
Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is, don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that. And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you. But honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here.
I was really used to the kilometers and the meters and stuff like that, and then when I came here, I was like, what the heck? What kind of number is this? Am I in US or am I in another planet?
So our next don't is, when you do come to the US, there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics, talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now.
Yes, that is super true. I will not want to talk about gun controls, because Americans, they love their freedom and also love their guns. If you ever think about reforms or touching their guns, you are out of the office, okay? Politicians, they stay away from the gun control. And then also politics. Yeah, nobody want to talk about politics because it's so polarizing. There's one group that just hardcore support Republicans and another group that is hardcore supporting Democrats, okay? Now I'm gonna stay away from those topics. If I don't, man, I'm gonna get a lot of hate on this video.
Now, my next note for you is, don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other, and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too, not just fat guys like me.
Yes, and then one more thing, okay? I think I live in Arkansas. In Arkansas, they have some of the nicest people ever. Like one time, my brother was driving and he ran into a stop sign and his car cannot start. And he just parked on the side of the road. In 30 minutes, he was parked there for 30 minutes. 10 people stopped their car just to check on my brother and make sure he's okay. And even I think one person stayed with him for an hour just to make sure that he was okay. But it really just made his day. So many people showed kindness toward him.
And my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is, if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions, because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't assume there's no culture in the US, because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston, here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans, or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the US, it's not really true, because there are.
Yes, it's not totally not true, okay? Here's another thing. When you go to New York people, they have their New York accent. It's English, but they have their accent, okay? If you go to Arkansas or southern states, they have their own southern accent. You know, it's pretty crazy.
Are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the US, it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying, how are you? Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good. You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual
Totally
question,
agree.
all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason in the US, it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the US, and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice. So don't expect that from the fancy hotels.
If you ever stay in a cheap hotel in China, the experience is day and night difference. I feel like the expensive hotel in US, it feels cheap compared to China. Like you can go to a $60 a night hotel in China. Holy crap. The luxury is just like a whole different animal. Like in breakfast, you get about 50 selections of buffet breakfast. There's a lot of selections.
Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams and, oh my God, the New England clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like, more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese.
Oh yeah,
barbecue.
mac and cheese.
Oh
I
my
live in the
God.
South.
The food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places, because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants, because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out. And that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look, healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive. And just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right. So if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance. So in case you do get sick, or you do break an ankle, or you do break an arm, or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back, because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive.
It is crazy insane, okay? One time I got sick, it was just a common cold. I had to pay at least $300 just to see the doctor. That is not even including the medicine, because they have health insurance. Not only the medical insurance is expensive, also dental too. Like if you want to get like a filling or get a tooth pull, at least $200 or $250. Like if you go to China, it's like a $50 to get like a filling and stuff like that. You know, the price of the Mexico is way cheaper. You know, the price is huge difference.
Okay, so make sure you're prepared for that. And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries, when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the U.S. just so we can get things going.
Alright guys, that is the end of the video. We gotta look at some comments real quick. Funny thing is, 90% of the people watching this are Americans. Are you guys Americans? If you are Americans, leave it in the comment section below. Let me know. Ask you, how are you? Just say, I'm good, even you are not. Yes, this is totally 100% true. Even if you're having like a super crappy day, and you say, yeah, I'm good. I have visited the US every day for 15 years since I was born. Don't drive slower than the speed limit. Oh my god. Holy crap. This is totally relatable. One time I was driving around 50 miles per hour. There's like 50 cars past me in just 1 minute. Okay, people hate you when you drive really slow, especially on the left lane. If you drive really fast, go to left lane. If you drive really slow, stay in the right lane, okay? But yeah guys, that is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell notification, and my social media is in the description below. And yeah, my name is Kelvin, and I see you guys next video.